All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now. We got a East Coast hip-hop pioneer legend right here live on the line. We got Southside Kid, the MC of the Together Brothers and Cypher Sounds right here on Outlaw Radio. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How's it going with you?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. We are still on lockdown here in Canada, but I've been trying to make the best of some terrible situations, and just doing interviews. You know what I mean? Running the business, trying to hold everything down well inside the house.
Well, they ain't got nothing to worry about. You got all Outlaw Radio right there, setting the tone.
And most definitely, man. I gotta ask, how's everything on your end out in New York City, man? I saw some videos that I don't know about now, but the city that never sleeps actually finally slept for the first time in probably hundreds of years.
Oh no, they slept too much. We wide awake now.
Yeah, that's good though. Like they always say, when you get too much sleep, you can't sleep after that. So you know what I mean? I'm glad to hear New York is back relatively back to normal as much as possible.
Exactly.
But I gotta ask you, Southside, I want to take you back to the very beginning of your legendary career within the hip-hop community, and I gotta ask you, what inspired you and actually sparked you to get into hip-hop initially? Because you were there from the very beginning, pretty much.
Yeah, man. Don't you know I'm old? Trying to make me remember all of this. Well, look, my first experience was walking in the park. Now, picture this. Your first experience in hip hop, you walk in the park, the first thing is I Can't Stop, Work Song, what's the other song? Sing Sing. This is your first experience. These songs had a big impact on me from the beginning. And the group that was playing in the park was the Disco Twins.
I gotta say as well, because I heard a lot of stories. Well, that back in the day, they used to have a lot of concerts in the park. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't let me ask, when was your first concert in the park? And of course, like, who did you actually open up, or actually who opened up for you?
Well, actually, the first group that I ran with in the park was a group called Phase 3. DJ Junebug, DJ Kenny J. They as a young youth, they let me hang around and stuff, and I got all the experience of what I never actually got on as a DJ, because that's what I was back then. I never actually got on as a DJ, but I got all the surround and all the feel of it was back then. And it was a learning experience, and I really enjoyed that moment. Now, my first experience was actually with DJ Kid Flash. He's one of your DJs on your radio there. That's my man, over 40 years.
And I gotta say, he's a damn good DJ at that as well. And I have to ask, how did you guys get connected? Because I know there's some rich history just behind that alone.
Well, what it was is that that's a story right there. At the same time, all of this stuff was going on with hip hop. We was in the hip hop world. We was also a gang, called the Southside 17. One of the members that was emceeing for Kid Flash, he was the leader. Well, but he might have been the leader, but he was the vice president of this gang, and we got into a little beef with that person. And what happened? He came to my block, rolled on us, strapped, and I guess they was going to do damage to us, whatever. But my mom heard all the commotion outside the window, and she stuck her head out the window and squashed it all. From that point on, they called the Southside Mom, and that's where I get the name from, the Southside Kid. He actually named me. So after we had squashed all of that, he saw I was a DJ, and a pretty good DJ. He wanted to introduce me to Kid Flash. So we introduced him. Me and Kid kind of bonded, like relatively quickly. And we've been cool ever since.
And I gotta say as well, it's been like 40 plus years, man. You guys are actually in the original Cypher sounds together as well. Another phenomenal hip hop group.
Yeah. Actually, Kid was actually rolling with Cypher Sound before me. He actually helped Kid Slash bring out his vein, and his vein blew up like real fast. He was like the fastest rising DJ at the time. It was crazy. It was out of control. But Cypher, the original Cypher Sound, DJ Understanding, he started it. DJ Understanding and DJ Divine from Infinity Machine, they started Cypher Sound together. I joined Cypher Sound in like '83, and I've been with them since, all the way through to actually making records.
And also as well, you were actually a part of another group as well, the Together Brothers. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about that duo, and of course, how did it come to be for you?
Well, actually, I did tell you, I just didn't say the name. Kid Flash is the Together Brothers.
Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, Kid Flash, MC Jazzy D, MC Cool T, and that was the group with Kid Flash.
And I have to ask as well, because I do know that the group is like back from back in the '80s. Is any of your music actually out on YouTube? That way, individuals that are just listening to you guys now that don't really know your guys' history, that they can go back and actually listen to some of your guys' music that you guys put together way back in the golden age of hip hop.
Okay. First song that I helped put out was the original Cypher Sound. MC MC Gang. Well, it's the original Cypher Sound, and we put out a song called "Get Moved On" and a song called "Recall Molly." That's actually on YouTube.
And everybody that is listening, if you have not heard any of their music, make sure you slide on over to YouTube and check it out and hear some real hip hop. In my personal opinion, it's nothing like that stuff that's out today in the mainstream. This is going to be some real hip hop sounds with all elements of the hip hop culture embedded into the music.
Okay. Now we also at Cypher Sound we switched over to an R&B group called I'm going blank now. So, give me a minute. Arts and Crafts. Now, Arts and Crafts was actually signed to Motown and to Sony Records. Now, we put out a song. We put out a song called "Burning Love." That was the first record. And then we put out two songs that's actually on the House Party soundtrack. First House Party.
And I have to ask as well, what actually made you guys transition into rhythm and blues? Because I do know obviously there is R&B within hip hop, but what actually made you guys decide to do R&B music?
Well, what it was is that it was trying to make something different. And at the time, the R&B hip hop sound was kind of moving up into that type of genre. And there was a guy that was down with us that his name was Sam. He had a cousin that he could play the bass. Now what happened is that once he got him in the studio, come to find out he could sing. You understand? So what it did is just started making records and stuff, and we hooked up with Declan Hyde, what's his name? Not the one that died, the other one, Andre Brown, and we hooked up with him, and he sent us over to Uptown MCA.
And by the sounds of it, once you guys hit that record, once you guys went to that label, man, it most definitely was a wrap.
Well, yeah, it definitely put us on our way, But the first record label we signed to was a small label called Romeo Records. Now, Romeo Records was ran by Ron Miller. Ron D. Miller was the writer for
ask as well, just going back to the House Party 1 soundtrack, I gotta ask, like, can you tell us a little bit more about that project? And of course, did you have the opportunity to actually like go to the set and actually meet any of the cast members, or was it just strictly just soundtrack work?
Yeah, no, it was just strictly soundtrack work. But you know, we was around basically to everybody anyway. So.
But also as well, I actually noticed that the Cypher Sounds, like just jumping ahead in the timeline a little bit, August 11th of 2019, the Cypher Sounds and the Almighty Force Brothers actually performed at the 25th anniversary Terror Dome basketball classic. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about that experience and what was it like partaking in Terror Dome history.
It's cool. You know, it was a small setting, and you know, playing it out there. That was it. So nothing major about it. You know, it's gotten to the time when you know we're older now, so it don't really come out like that.
I gotta say as well, though, you know what I mean. So it's really cool that even the little things as well, people are still actually recognizing real hip hop artists and people that came before as well. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also as well, you actually have a brand new EP that is actually coming out soon as well. That you actually sent us some of the music as well. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a little bit more about this phenomenal EP, and of course, what can we expect from it when it does drop to the general public?
Well, what you can expect is some really good music. You know, it's like I said, real hip hop. Everything is a good vibe. You know, you hear some samples in there that can be recognized. But I think it's a real good vibe. And you know, me and my brother, we in Kid Flash, we you know, my brother, he's a really good, really works the machines and stuff. And you know, for the most part, he was the one that kind of pulled it all together. You know, his name is Archie Walker. And a great drummer too.
And also as well, I saw on Facebook a picture of yourself alongside fellow East Coast hip hop legend Special Ed. I was wondering, what's the story behind that photo? And of course, did you ever have the opportunity to work with Special Ed at any point in your career?
No, I didn't have the opportunity to work with that story there was we was at the what was that? I think it's the 25th anniversary for what's that video music show a few years ago. Anyway, we was at the Barclays Center. That was backstage, and you know, we just in there, you know, relaxing, chilling, you know, with Brand Nubians and a lot of the guys that was there at the time, you know, and you know, that's all that was.
And I gotta say as well, you know, it's not every day you get the opportunity to go to the Barclays Center to actually pay homage to one of hip hop's biggest platforms.
Yeah. It was a nice evening. You know, I was hanging out with Positive K at the time, and I actually worked on his album too. The I Got a Man album.
Absolute classic. I believe that one actually went platinum a couple times as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The interlude to I Got a Man, that was done by, you know, and you know, it actually done well. I'm very proud of that. Even though it was a small situation, I'm very proud of it.
And I have to ask as well, how did yourself and Special initially get connected? Like, what's the story just behind that like partnership?
You mean Positive K?
Positive, yes. My apologies.
Yeah. I met Paz back in '84. We were supposed to get together. We had a mutual friend, and he pulled us together to actually start a duo. When we met, you know, we kind of connected, you know, and you know, we was on the mic vibing hard, you know. But at the time, you know, I was 20 years old and I just had a son, Just the previous few months earlier, my son was born, and my mind was starting to get into another group at that time wasn't there. So we never really put that all together. But we always stayed connected. When he put out his first record on Priority, I was there. That was my man. We hung out hard. So but yeah. We have a long friendship also.
And I have to ask as well, did you actually when you were doing the work for I Got a Man, did you actually think it was going to be as big as it is today, or were you just unsure of that project?
Oh no! When I first heard it, I told him, I said, "Yo, that's some fly stuff right there." I said that is going to blow up. I knew it the minute I heard it. I said that's going to be big.
And also as well, tonight you are actually exclusively debuting the song "It's Never Too Late," and I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a little bit more about this phenomenal song, and of course, what can they expect from it when they actually hear it momentarily?
Well, what they expect, I think they'll want to get up and dance. It's one of those songs that once you hear it, you just want to just dance. And that's to me that's more important than whether you think I'm a dope MC or not. That's up to the individual. But if you really feel like you want to dance to that song, then I did my job.
And I have to ask you, other than this brand new phenomenal EP that's coming out soon, what is next for the Southside Kid?
Well, what's actually happening right now is that the original sound, Tony Moore, DJ Understanding, we actually have a film studio that we're opening up in Reading, PA. Actually, it's open already, and we're trying to do movies over there on in the background now. But yeah, that's actually the next move that we try to put all together.
But also, Southside, this is the time in the interview quickly, right before I wrap things up, that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, but most of all, man, your social media handles, so that way our listeners can follow you and stay updated everything Southside Kid the MC if they're not already doing so.
Well, I want to give a shout out first of all to my mom. My mom was the one that encouraged me to really get back into the game. Because this was my love. Gloria Thomas Gasaway, aka Southside Moms. And she really, got me to go. Because she said, "You're never too old, and it's never too late." That's where I got the song, the name of the song from.
And I just gotta say, so my apologies, Southside.
Yeah. No. I said, my social media is David Thomas on Facebook, and the same is on what's the other social media?
Instagram?
Well, all of them, yeah, all of them is David Thomas.
But I gotta say, first and foremost, Southside, thank you so much, man, for just taking a little bit of your time out of your busy evening and coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. It was an honor and most definitely a privilege just to welcome one of hip-hop's greatest pioneers just on my radio station, man. So thank you so much for gracing my platform and our listeners with a little bit of your time this evening.
Oh, no, thank you. And to all your listeners, listen to this band here. Radio station is popping. Put it up there in the #1 station. Keep it there.
I appreciate the love, man. I really do. Thank you so much. And if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. We most definitely got you, and you always have a home here on Outlaw Radio FM.
Thank you very much.
You are most certainly welcome. Have yourself a wonderful evening.
Same here.